You learned how to write data to a CSV file in the previous lesson. That's lesson 9.7. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use C# code to read the data back from your CSV file. To begin, open the Textland project from your Sample Files folder. And open the code behind file of csv.aspx. Now examine the button read file click event handler. This code allows the user to upload a file and display it on the page. But it isn't yet able to read CSV files properly. You wrote this code in lesson 2.3. First, you'll need to add a variable before the while loop to store the HTML result you're going to create from the CSV file. Use the following code: string HTML result equals table. You're going to display the contents of the CSV file in an HTML table, so the HTML result variable starts with a table tag. Next, you'll need to modify the while loop to split the CSV data into individual values. Remove the line literal file content.text plus equals text from file and add the following code in its place: string CSV elements equals text from file dot split, comma. The split method changes the text from file string into an array of strings. It does this by splitting the text in the text from file variable every time it finds a comma. Because you're reading a CSV file, this will split the data into its individual values. Note, however, that CSV files can be a lot more complex than the one you're working with in this lesson. The simple format you've used in this course would not be capable of storing commas or line breaks. This can be a real problem when working with address data, for example. The .NET framework doesn't contain any classes for dealing with complex CSV files, but there are several class libraries available on the Internet that can read any CSV file. If you have simple requirements, a CSV file is one of the best ways to export data from an application. Next, you're going to add some code to convert the CSV values into HTML table cells. Add the following code on the next line inside the while loop: HTML result plus equals tr for each string CSV element in CSV elements HTML result plus equals td plus CSV element plus endtd HTML result plus equals endtr. This code adds tr and td tags to place the values in separate rows and columns in the HTML table you are building from the CSV file. Now add the following code after the end of the while loop: HTML result plus equals end table. This code simply ends the HTML table tag after all of the values have been added to the table. Finally, you'll need to add some code to display the HTML table on the page. Add the following code on the next line. Literal file content dot text equals HTML result. Now let's test your code. View csv.aspx in your web browser. Now click Browse. Navigate to C Practice ASP.NET Expert. Click marketdata.csv and click Open. You created marketdata.csv in Lesson 9.7. If you haven't completed that lesson, you can obtain the file by downloading the complete sample file set from learnasp4.com. Now click Read File. The CSV file is read and displayed on the page in a table. Close your web browser now and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 9.8. Read data from a CSV file.